You're such an asshole.
I hit the record button. I forgot to add Shark's channel. Shark sent in 2 requests. He has I'll get this is the first one I'm doing. I forgot. Everyone go subscribe to Shark Toz. Shark TOZ. It's lounge music and documentaries about sharks. You like what? Yes. Yes. Look, you can watch the news about Minnesota and get pissed off at all the liberal white women that hate all of you and hate the country, and only they exist and only they can save the world from itself, and get angry and pissed off. Be like, oh, no wonder Aaron's that way. Or we can just chill the fuck out and listen to Shark Toss. Anyway, he writes, the second video request is about something that crossed my mind while practicing my Cappy power walking. You've done multiple videos covering how the majority of people in the world are stupid, especially adults. The slow things, they slow things down, ruin good things, or fix things that aren't broken. However, if we were still in our caveman days, we wouldn't be dealing with this. What we're dealing with is the result of Mother Nature not being able to take its course. Human tribes 200,000 years ago would have been a small group of sharp, aware, intelligent individuals. 5 to 10 human beings for a small family, maybe 150 for the tribe. Any stupid ones would have been killed off naturally by nature, or by, hang on, all right, or by the tribe itself, right? I got it. You, me, and Dre go out to kill a mammoth, right? Now we know Dre's the dumbest one, right? Dre's it's like, do we even take Dre? Like, he's putting us at risk. We gotta kill him before we even leave the hut place, the area, the town, the caveman hut city. Hey, Dre, come on out with this. Yeah, we're gonna come on. We got a surprise you. What happened to Dre? I don't know, but we're all gonna survive. And I didn't get stampled by the. Then we bring in somebody sensible. Who would be the sensible caveman to finish the triumvirate? I'd imagine it takes more than 3 people to take down a mammoth. It'd be you, me, Vlad Elkins. He'd be very strategic and mathy about it. Oh, if we sharpen the spears this way, I'm going to throw with a little bit of force, but and I can weigh the meat and we can come up with an economic system and I'll calculate it. Yeah, no, you're 100% right. Any stupid ones would have been killed off by naturally by nature or their own stupidity or the tribe itself. Looking at the bell curve of IQs, this makes sense. If we found ourselves back in the caveman days, I think the human population, more importantly, the stupid population, would drop sharply. Absolutely. I think this is what some people meant when they said progress should lose sometimes. Would like your thoughts. Attached a picture you can use for the thumbnail if you want. Thank you for your price. Let me know. Yeah, so basically, technology, while good, has made it so easy that it allows stupid, parasitic, inefficient, dumb, evil people to survive, right? In the olden days, forget law, forget cops, forget any of that. The law for most of human existence until very, very, very recently was starvation. That was it. Shit, you didn't even have crops for the first, depending on, 200,000 when a current incarnation of humans existed. I think Neanderthals were before us. But it wasn't until the last quarter, like 50,000 BC, did humans get around to farming and livestock. We were always hunter-gatherers. So food was definitely in short supply before then. And even then, you go back, we've had farming for at least 10,000, 20, 30, 50,000. Somebody, ancient historian, not me, tell me. We still had troubles with food until Neil Borlaug, basically, among some other things, did we actually start, the technological industrial revolution? Did we now eliminate hunger as a problem and replace it with obesity as the new problem, probably killing off more people than hunger ever did? That was the limit. That was the law. If there's one thing, it was, we're going to starve if people fuck around. And since everybody's lives were on the line, including your own, you would starve or you'd make a stupid mistake or they'd just kill you. Yeah. But now, especially that we've mastered so many aspects of nature and enslaved it to ourselves, yes, this is great. We're tremendously wealthy. I'd rather have the Industrial Revolution than not. But man, does it allow for some stupid people. And that's where I had kind of a I had too much choice. Because which group of stupid people that wouldn't exist back in the olden days do I want to choose from? Right? Do I want the pink-haired, dyed-haired, completely worthless human being with all the college education and no work ethic? Do I want a pothead? Do I want the dopey black guy with the pants below his crotch? Do I want the Gorda? Do I want, and that's why I went with the fat activist that died. And by the way, there's more than one. I don't even know this gal's name, is just fat activist passed away. Where there were fatfluencers. I think a year or two ago, a spate of them died, like 3 of them died. I think the oldest was 42. I think that's the epitome of stupid, where you're so dumb and times are so good and technology is so enabling. You take something that previously was a luxury, an abundance of food, and you go all the way to ending yourself with obesity. Only technology, only an abundance of production does it allow you to be so far removed from reality that you end up ending yourself with gluttony. And the stupidity to celebrate your pro fat positivity, fat activist bullshit. Right? They said it before. What was it? Yeah. An Iranian. Yeah, this gal was Persian, and her dad, Iranian. He said they have it so good they create their own problems. And an interesting point to make is, okay, if times were more tough, right? Would these people actually be that stupid, right? Laziness or work ethic and intelligence are not the same. They might correlate, but they're not the same. These fat activists who passed away might have damn well had an IQ of 135. They just had such a pampered lifestyle that they were never forced to deal with reality. They were never forced to think. Mom and dad paid for shit, or the government paid for shit. Just like lifting and using your physical muscles. If your brain is never exercised, that also will atrophy. They could have very well been an intelligent person, but they were lazy and they were never forced to deal with reality. So they were never forced to actually hone or use or develop their intellect and their high IQ. So it doesn't necessarily mean it breeds stupid people, but one might make the very valid point. Who gives a shit if their IQ is 135? If they're so stupid to be a pro-fat activist and eat so much that they die, well, their effective intelligence is pretty low. So that point still stands. But yes, and then you throw in democracy, which not really anything to do with technology. We're fifis of a certain group of people. I won't mention who, but they're half the population and they don't like sex. You'll never guess who that group is. They're feelsies before realsies, and they just want to redistribute productivity. They want to redistribute people's wealth and work and give it to people who don't work. Well, if you didn't work, you wouldn't survive in the past. Now you got a bunch of people, frankly, forget the fact they wouldn't exist. They wouldn't exist because if their parents didn't get free shit, they'd be like, oh, dang, we can't afford to have a kid. Like if there was no welfare, there was no excess production, there was no surplus production. We didn't redistribute. Like there was no welfare. You didn't get EBT, you didn't get SNAP, you didn't get a child check. Like we didn't pay you for spitting out a kid. And you have to bear the full weight and cost of your kids. A lot of people would have never been born. And so again, not necessarily intelligence, right? Doesn't correlate with intelligence perfectly. But you throw in democracy. Oh yeah, now we got a ton of stupid people, effectively stupid people that shouldn't be like. There's an article where, to show you perfectly, again, they might have high IQs, but their intelligence is effectively way too low. The spiritual and community leaders of Minnesota, or I'm sorry, the Twin Cities Metro, are getting together to have a day of economic destruction or something like that. It wasn't destruction. They're not going to do any work. No one in the Twin Cities is going to do any work. They're gonna an economic boycott. And everybody, you're like, okay, 1, you're all on welfare. 2, a lot of you there illegally. 3, stealing jobs, money, and housing from other Americans. So knock it off with that bullshit. But then the other thing is their IQ is not smart enough to realize that is literally just going to hurt you. It's just going to hurt you more. The same people who burnt down their neighbors' houses in the Twin Cities, that's not helping anyone. They're not smart enough to get it. You know what we're going to do to the Twin Cities? What are you going to do? We're just not going to work. What few of us do work? Great. That's really going to help things. But you can only get that attitude if the technology exists that we have such surplus production in everything that you never have to face reality or learn those hard lessons. This is why you get anyone from the suburbs who mom and dad paid for shit. They're adult children. They're adult fucking children. They don't understand the concept. Well, why do you work so much? Must be nice. I don't know how you do it, Cappy. It's because you were sucking on your mom's tit until you were 38 years old, you fucking piece of shit. No, they don't get it. They still don't get it. This is why you could say, when you say stupid people, choose your poison. Typically, you're going to look at people who failed economically. Overweight fat people on welfare, douche canoe with pants below his crotch, some tweaking trailer trash cousin fucker in Wyoming, a lesbian girl boss activist, faffoing. We can look at that. But you also, may I point out, only because they have access to loans, the American Beauty couple, where they're financially crippled, but because they're in debt for everything. They don't understand spending less than they make. And it's not the spending less than you make. It's the simple concept. You don't have the money. I think it was Big Island. Let me look it up. Big Island Investment Hedge Fund. Yeah, Big Island Capital fundraiser sentenced to 110 months. So Big Island is an island in Lake Minnetonka where all the new money is. And I don't even know what the guy looks like, but some finance bro, I think his wife came with him on this one. They set up a hedge fund. They call it Big Island, bro. Oh my God, bro, where? and they just took investors' money and they started buying shit with it for themselves, right? Like, they didn't even bother investing. They just, hey, I got a brilliant idea. I have a cunning plan. We'll say we're a hedge fund management company. We'll take investors' money, and then we're going to buy ourselves boats and cars. And that's what they did. I'm simplifying it a bit. You can look up the details if you want. that just because they don't look poor and have an EBT card in their hand doesn't mean they're not dumb. And how they get that way? Well, they had mom and dad obviously pay for shit as opposed to the government. They never had to work for a living. And they went as far as, we'll just take everybody's money, bro. AlphaCon, the Bull, whatever his name is, same thing. Hey, we'll just take people's money. I'm going to buy Lambos, bro. It's like, and your exit strategy to this is what? I guess that would be the white collar stupidity that you commonly see. But yes, when resources were not as abundant to essentially bail people out of their stupid mistakes, right? If you had one kid in 1920 that without a father around, you were fucked. You didn't have another. That ended because you were forced to face the full cost and consequences of your decision. But if we have Democrat policies and socialism and liberal white women in Minnesota voting to make everything fair, like, I have a degree. I am from Wayzata, and no man wants to deal with me because I'm such an insufferable bitch, but I know what I'm doing now. And everybody goes, oh my God, she knows what she's doing. Let's vote her in. And all you do is you enable basically people with unsustainable behavior. I think that would be the most clear way of putting it. Because of technology and abundance of production. Although one would say it's not an abundance of production. It is what it is. That's a permanent, whatever we make an engine, well, that's permanent. That unless we lost the technology. But I would say more so democracy headed up by feels goods people. Well, let's make everything fair and all. And you've separated people's actions from their consequences. Nobody learns. People who shouldn't have survived continue to survive. They also have more kids, which we could debate whether or not that would have a lower IQ. I'm gonna go more like the effective IQ because you got poor people who are smart and rich people who are dumb. And having never to learn their lesson, they will just keep on going. And what's fascinating is how their bad decisions will get to the point where they'll even exhaust the technology and the abundance and still end up taking themselves out of the gene pool. Again, fat acceptance, drug addiction would be another one, right? Back in the day, the cavemans probably didn't have fentanyl. They didn't have booze. Well, let's just sit and drink. They had real problems. And if you want, go read about Brog and Brittany. That's in Zero World Problems. I talk about Caveman Brog and Edina Brittany and how Brittany has no problems, but she's still miserable. But Brog is happy because he found 3 fish. It's true. It's real. Brog has purpose and agency, even though he's fighting. Life is much more horrible in caveman days than pristine little Edina. But Brittany would never learn because Dad would always bail her out. And then Brittany crashes the car and injures somebody on a motorcycle. So yes, I guess a better way is technology not only breeds, but it allows for stupid people. Especially when we distribute the social cost of the stupid people across society between the producers and the parasites. It allows for parasitic people to exist when long ago they would have never gotten they would not be allowed to exist. If you didn't work, you die. And so you'd either die or facing starvation. What would happen more often than not is you would work and then you become a productive member of society. So yeah, link below. I have Curse of the High IQ if you guys are interested in intelligence and IQ and like, why is everyone around me a fucking moron? Well, chances are you have a high IQ. I'm not that smart. I don't have a high IQ. No. You misunderstand. You think you're normal. You don't realize how much other people are that stupid. Okay. Look at the current president and CEO of Microsoft. He's making everything spyware and everything. Well, that guy's really, no, he's not that smart. He really isn't. Maybe like a 102 IQ. You'd be shocked how much more intelligent you are, more so because everyone else is so stupid. And I don't say it as slamming or like, I'm just the biggest swinging, most intelligent dick ever. It's like, no, actually go get yourself tested. Like, oh, actually I am intelligent. And the rest of you guys are fucking normie, conforming, inferior ass wipes. You're so cool because you're so popular because you do conformist thing. Oh my God. So that's Curse of the High IQ. Please get that so you're not driven insane anymore. And then Zero World Problems. I'll link to that below. And then check out Shark Taw's channel. I'll link to that below as well. Let's go to the super chats. Mi Verda, the king. $5. The reason the elders or councilmen were admired is because it was rare for people to live long. So you had to be a little or a lot above average to live longer. True. True. Or maybe just want to live. I am gonna love, because it's happening now. I love, it was in the 80s, guys. It was the late 80s. People were mocking and ridiculing June Award Cleaver. You guys were mocking, like, God, what do you think? I'm June Cleaver. Wait, you are Cleaver? And you're all so desperate to have that right now, especially the wisdom. It's like, oh, men are so stupid. Oh my God, men are dumb. How's that working out? Protesting ladies, how's your life working out? Mi Verda, the king. $2 now with tech subsidies. Every dumbass makes it to old age. Yep. Yeah, Social Security is a perfect example. Like, if you didn't work that much to contribute, you get free food, clothing, and shelter. Like, you didn't have to work hard or support a family or be good to your children or raise them right so that they want. You just exist. You just don't worry. It's going to all go away when a critical percentage of the population is unsustainable or a net loss or parasitic, and there's not enough producers to produce the surplus to go pay for every pair. Right, Minnesotans? How much did you got to pay in extra taxes this year? How much did you pay for your Leering centers? I think they had an $18 billion surplus, the state did, and all gone in 1 year. All gone. I'm sure you guys got some nuclear fusion technology out of that $18 billion investment. Like, what else? And then I'm sure you guys cured cancer with all that money, right? Did you at least tell me you bailed out all the student loan debt holders in Minnesota to the tune of a third, right? Because you love your children. So you took that money and at least you bailed them out a third of their student loan balance, right? You did that, didn't you, Minnesota? Oh, you did what your liberal white women told you and said to be popular. Be popular. And liberal white women love nothing more than helping out people who hate them and their country. I wish I was joking. But at least you're popular. And some of you Minnesota men might get your peen touched because you finally voted 40 times Democrat. Now she'll touch your peen. Speaking of low IQ parasites, I present to you the state of Minnesota. Mi Verda, the king. $2. Hence, respect your elders has lost its applicability. Oh, yeah. Well, now, yeah, I mean, the irony is you don't listen to boomers, right? Hell, I got a book called How Not to Become a Millennial. It's basically, here's all the shit advice the boomers gave you because they never had to work for a living. Sorry, boomers. I know. I bought my house for $25,000 with the money I made on my paper route. Oh, we're so fucked. We don't listen to our elders. We mock the elders we should have listened to. And anyone who tries to tell the truth is immediately called a fascist. Aaron Purdue, $5. The Industrial Revolution bred boredom from which we made up Cadillac or Lexus problems. Yeah, no, it really did. It really go read that. Brittany and Brog. That's it. Caveman Brog versus Edina Brittany. It's a great, and because it ultimately leads to happiness. Humans are not built to be happy. They are built to enjoy peace and serenity. They're built to solve problems. When the problems are solved, that's when you get a fix. That is the peace and contentment and stability is what you seek and crave. It is not happiness. Happiness is something different, and it's not sustainable. That's why all privileged girls and privileged people from the suburbs are miserable. And then if you're like this blue collar schlep and you find $20 on the ground, like, hey, all right, hey. That's why when you're a blue collar schlep and you get laid, hey, I got laid, hey, and your buddies are patting you on the back. Becky and Trisha and Brittany, nothing makes them happy. They got everything bought and paid for. They never had to struggle for it. And they're miserable. Like Brog would never take antidepressants. Like, look, 3 fish. Oh my God, a new spear. This is great. He's living the dream. He's smiling. Brittany's on antidepressants. I don't know. Maybe you didn't vote Democrat or be a bitch enough, Brittany. Maybe you don't have enough of other people's money to give to people that hate you. Sweet kisses from Truck and $5. Here's one. It's by design. Since marriage is a failed technology, why haven't they created a marriage insurance or products to mitigate the risk? I don't know why they haven't created marriage. Well, how easy would it be to commit insurance fraud with marriage, right? I see. Think about that. So obviously you're insuring against women filing for divorce because you don't have to worry about it with men. Yeah, that's almost too easy to, okay, now divorce me, Becky, and here's our $2 million payout. Yeah, see, that's probably why marriage insurance doesn't exist. I mean, you can form it a prenup. I guess a way you could do marriage insurance is the girl, like the family essentially would have to give you a dowry. I guess that was the form of insurance back in the day, but more modernly, it'd be like, no, you're giving me $2 $200,000. This goes into a joint account. And upon you divorcing me, upon our divorce, I get all of it. It's like getting a non-refundable bonus or a retainer. I think that would be a way to insure against marriage or divorce. Okay, we could get married, but you're going to drop $200,000 into a joint account, or not a joint account, a trust account. And upon you divorcing me in the final minute of this divorce, in 3 years' time, I get this money, right? To make sure there's no other fuckery with the divorce court and all that. Nope, this is my money. That'd be an insurance product you could do. Luis, 10 generous dollars. Currently in bookkeeping for almost a year. I'm taking steps towards a bachelor's in accounting. Should just go for the enrolled agent. I go for the enrolled agent. I'm not to say your courses in accounting are going to hurt you. They're going to help. But if you could go become an enrolled agent, I'd do that. Test for it, start doing taxes. You can open up your shop. Was going for a degree for easier money. Yeah. And then slowly make your way towards accounting, like a degree in accounting. But that would be more to learn about bookkeeping and financial statement analysis, which are fine, but you don't need that for taxes. And then after that, I would even say I'd practice more like in QuickBooks, get your certification. I think it's through Intuit. I do that. And then very final at the end, get an accounting degree, but you may not need to. You may not need to. Mazatol, $10 bite me. My brother, sister, and I worked on coal docks and canning factories, assembly plants, and other manual labor jobs to pay for school. Yeah, but you appreciate it. I agree. You did it right. And how much you bet, Mazatol, you like a good meal and you could appreciate it. But yeah, you guys were living close to reality. You're not the stupid ones. You're not the non-productive. Well, you said you worked. You contributed to GDP. What are coal docks? I know there's coal mines. What are the coal docks? Do you load up the trains with them or what? Sweet kisses from trucking, $5. We solved all these problems, but bureaucracy wants to keep power. Hence NIMBY and HOAs, or the ban on AI medical diagnosis, even though it's 98% right. I think you're not wrong. All those people who go major in save the world studies, and then they go and they tell the rest of the world what to do. You know, a lot of these problems would go away if you girls just shut up and really did get married and go have some kids and make some cookies. You'd be happier. The world would be better. We wouldn't have inflation. You wouldn't be out on a 12-degree day in Minnesota protesting ice. I don't. Not only do I not care what you do, I can't care what you do because you're all well past the age of having kids and it's too late for your generation. And on top of it, I'm enjoying the show, watching miserable postmenopausal spinsters ruin their lives. Like, I enjoy seeing you all. This is how you decide to spend your life. Instead of love and hugs and kisses and children, possibly grandchildren, you decided to be Marxist leftist bitches and save the world because at the end of the day, you're just too lazy to get a real job. So I do want to see you. This is the part where the Seattle Seahawks start to lose against the New England Patriots. And it's a great game to watch. Aaron Purdue, $5. Taking investments to buy a crack house and daycare in St. Paul. Right. Luis, $2. Have the Coursera Intuit certs help for a job. Yeah, that's a good thing, Luis. I'd do that. Yeah. You could test for EA, and I think it depends on the frequency of the speed at which you could take the tests. You could do that in about a year or under a year. Get the work experience working at H&R Block or Jackson Hewitt, whatever. And then the degree is truly secondary, and you can push that off if you want. You may just, no, I'm an EA and I'm done. I don't want to even bother with it. I think everyone, I use probably, well, even at the peak of my job, because now I don't use any of it. I don't think I use more than 10% of what I learned in college. And if you're doing taxes, I don't know what's going to help you to do inventory accounting, right? You're going to have to take a course on it and understand it, but I don't know what good it's going to do you down the road. I'd definitely focus on the EA and open up your own shop. And then just, if you're making 120 grand, you don't need, you don't need a degree. All right, that's it. Questions, answers, assholeconsulting.com. Subscribe to Shark Toss's channel. Check out that book, Curse of the High IQ. And then also check out Zero World Problems. We'll see you guys later. Toodles.